welcome back to the sewing room. Today we are going to learn how to take measurements and how to record measurements on the measurement chart. So the first thing that I do is I find the waist on my model. Judy is privileged to be my model today. So I found the waist, and you always look in the mirror to make sure, as you can see in the mirror, that the you can use, I used just masking tape on Judy here, but on a live person you would probably use either a piece of twine or some yarn, something along that line, even a salvage of a fabric, some twill tape, whatever you happen to have. Just make sure that you tie it around their waist and it's parallel to the floor. Okay, so this is why when you are taking measurements, the first thing you do is stand in front of a mirror and you take a look at your model from the profile. Always from the profile, because while you're measuring here, over here, this can move up or down, which will distort the measurement slightly. So you want to be sure that this side and this side are parallel, and your eye will be able to do that. Okay? So let's start. Now, I have, oops, as I showed you, I have my measurement chart right here. And I don't know if you can see that well or not, but anyway, you have to write the half measurements for the horizontal measurements. So the horizontal measurements are always recorded in half. And the vertical measurements are always recorded in the whole measurement. So the vertical, the whole, horizontal, the half. And this is, the measuring tape comes with the kit. And as you can see, it has the whole measurements as well as the half measurements. So here I have 10 centimeters or 20 centimeters. So 20 divided by 2 is 10, and you'll see that little number over there is 10. And it goes 27, for example. 27 centimeters, half of that is 13.5. So the calculations have already been done for you. All right, so let's start with the measurement. So the first measurement that I take, which is the most important for a bodice, is the half bust measurement. So the half bust, so you see how when you have to look in the mirror to make sure that it is all parallel. Okay, you see that? It's all parallel to the floor. The floor is your constant. Okay, so now I hold my thumb and forefinger where the measuring tape was. So you don't pull it too tight and you don't leave it too loose. It has to just kind of skim over the body. So that half bust measurement was 100. 100 divided by 2, as you can see with the little number, is 50. So I'm going to take and I'm going to mark 50 on my measurement chart. Next up is the half waist. Okay, now we're going to measure the waist. Now I'm just going to go right over the twine or whatever marking you have. Now make sure that you have the side that starts with 1 out. Adjust your measuring tape so that it's going right over that twine and it's parallel to the floor, and you're going to pull it not too tight and not too loose. So here is where the measuring tape ends. You can see the metal right there. So I'm going to hold my thumb and forefinger, okay, and it is, the waist is 78, so that makes the half waist 39. So I'm going to write that down, 39, right here where it says the half waist. Now the half hips. The half hips, you're going to generally go over, and I'm going to pull her back so you can see a little bit more. You can see in the mirror there how it's very clear in the mirror. So you're going to go and you're going to see the widest part right over the widest part of the hip. Okay, so the widest part of the hip in this case is and you're going to make sure that it's nice and parallel to the floor. Okay, so it is 104, or the small number says 52. So we will just mark that one down. Now next on the measurement chart comes the front neck to waist. Now that you need the front and back neck to waist because they will differ. Now, to make sure that that your measurements are accurate, I'm going to take and cut a little piece of this masking tape right here, and I'm going to place it where I'm going to take that measurement from, which is right about there. So it's right there. It would be behind, like just at the earlobe, a little bit behind the earlobe. So that is where I'm taking the measurement both for the front and the back. So I'm starting from here, going right over the apex and going down to the mark where the waist is. So over here it says 46. Now I'm going to do the same thing at the back. So that's why it's important to have that mark there, because you don't want to be measuring further. They have to join. This is where the garment joins. So it has to be accurate. And it's right where the neck and shoulders seem to meet. So this is 44. Okay, let's just double check that. Actually, it's 43. I'm going to go with 43. So that gives it a difference of 3 centimeters between the front and the back. Okay, next measurement that you're going to find is the bust height. From that same spot that you just took that measurement from, you're going to measure to the most protruding part of the bust. It could be called the nipple as well. So we're going to go with 27. Now for this one here, you have to write down the whole measurement, 27. Same as the front and back neck to waist, 46, 43. Okay, now the next on our measurement chart is the bust height. I got the bust height, the half bust distance. So this is from the outermost point to the outermost point, or the nipple, from nipple to nipple. Now, actually, to show that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark right there, and okay, come on, right there. Okay, so let's just double check that bust height just to be sure that it was accurate. Yep, 27 is correct. So go a little bit down. Okay, and now from nipple to nipple is 20 centimeters. So half of that is 10. So I wrote the half bust distance because it's a horizontal measurement, so you want to know just the half. Then we have the half shoulder width. Okay, so the half shoulder width is from here to here. And you take that from the back. So I'm going to also put a little masking tape here. And here, just so you can see what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so there you have the markings for the half shoulder width. You can see them right there. Okay, so we're going to take that measurement So you would normally be taking this from the back like this. Okay, you'd normally be doing that. To show you, I'm going to take it from here, just to show how what it looks like, so I'm not in the way. So then that, the half bust, the half shoulder width is 40, or the full shoulder width is 40, half of that is 20. Then we have the shoulder to neck. Now the shoulder to neck is just a cross check. This actually just gets used when you're cross-checking the distance from here to here, just to make sure you have the width of the neck correct. But as far as the basic block is concerned, that doesn't even enter into the picture. So it's 12 from here to here. And for that one there, you need the full measurement. Now the other thing that's next is the arm length. Now, Judy's missing arms. So the arm length also gets started from where you have that mark, and it's with a bent elbow like so on the person. So I will show you on myself. So this is the way I would take it on me. So I go and I try to find the part that bends over here, that actually moves, where the shoulder, the ball and socket joint actually move. Okay, so then I'm going to grab the measuring tape like this around my elbow and just look at the numbers. So just look at the number. I'm going to go with 58. I know it looks kind of odd, but it'll be fine. It'll be correct. So 58 is the arm length, because 58 was to about there. So it's at the wrist. It's at the very bottom of the wrist. So that is your arm length. Now the sleeve length may be different, because the sleeve length, you may need the sleeve, you may want a long sleeve just to the wrist, or you may want it a little longer or shorter or 3/4 or even a short sleeve. So the sleeve length would be whatever the style is made for. So I'm going to go with 60 because if I want it a little bit longer. Okay, then you have the armhole circumference. Now the armhole circumference is very important because it is for comfort. It dictates the sleeve, and it really plays a vital role in garment making. So you're going to go just exactly what it says, the armhole circumference. You're going to go around the armhole, and you're going to get the person to put their arm down like this, to hold their arm down, because that will actually, the arm will spread out when you hold it down, as opposed to holding it out to here. Okay, so this would be about accurate right there. So I'm just going to hold my thumb and forefinger, and it is 46 centimeters. Okay, next one is the neckline circumference. Now this one here you only need to take if you're making a shirt or a turtleneck or something with a high neckline, or if the person may have like a very small neck or a larger neck, you know, like there's, so for every rule there are 10 exceptions. So this one here is 40 centimeters, and you need the whole number for that. So 40 centimeters, it could be 40.5, it could be 41, it could be 41.5. So we work in decimals. The other thing is the neckline depth. So if you have someone who is particularly reserved or shy, or has had surgery or whatever, and they don't want it too low, this is an important piece of information for you to have. So for example, somebody might want it 10 centimeters, the neckline depth. Or if you will have like a boat neck collar and you just want to have just a little bit, so then you're cutting off more here than you are there. So there's many variables. In any case, this is a good measurement to have. So I'm just going to mark down 13 centimeters for the neckline depth. Now, the next thing that you're going to want to know, and if you're making, even if you're making a jacket, okay, even if you're making a jacket, you want to know the skirt length, the length that you want that to come down. Okay, the length, sorry, let me fix this. So you want the length that the jacket comes down, okay? If you have a dress or a skirt, you definitely want from the waist to the knee or wherever the length, the desired length is. It could be to the floor if it's a gown, it could be to the calves, could be ballerina length down just above the ankles. In any case, because there's a difference between the front and back neck to waist, you have to take the skirt length separately. Otherwise, you can't just do this and then go down and you have a measurement. That will not be accurate because there's, in this case, there's 3 centimeters difference between them. So I'm going to just make a jacket. So I'm going to go down 25 centimeters because that's how far down I want that jacket to be. So I'm going to go mark 25 for the skirt length. Now, the distance between the waist and the hip, generally speaking, is 17 centimeters. Or there's another equation that you can use if a person is very tall, and this is all in the book, the description is all in the book. If the person is very tall, then you can go their total height in centimeters, and you divide it by 10, 1/10. 1/10 the height in centimeters, okay? The other thing that not everybody falls into the same mold. So the other thing that I sometimes find myself doing, because some people have a longer torso than they do legs, so I'll put a marker at the waist. I will also put a marker at the hip. If I see that this part here comes out and very low, then I'll put a marker at the hip, and then I'll measure between the two. So I have an accurate curve of the hip. Because if you don't, then it's going to curve too high and start coming, and it won't fit properly. It'll curve too high and stop curving too high. So you have to have it might be even a gradual slope. So this will all be explained as we start the draft.